Greetings out there in YouTube land. This is Morris, man. As always, I thank you guys for coming to my channel. I guess I'm going to entitle this video An Interesting Comment. Because from time to time when people leave me certain comments and I respond, I feel it's a good idea to do a video on some of these comments because they're just kind of out there because it reads like this. I did a cover of The Temptations, A Love I Can Feel, and I had no idea that Paul Williams sang lead on that. He was a great singer. Matter of fact, I was told that he was the original lead singer for The Temptations before David Ruffin showed up. So the comment reads like this. Those original licks, I don't hear them in the recording. So I said, because, I mean, they're videos I did years ago. So let me revisit this because I don't recall exactly what I did on this specific video 5 years ago. So I pulled it up and I'm spot on. You know, the guitar that was being played was a telly. I used my telly. I did the licks. You know, I didn't create something different and just something that works. I played the licks that the guy on the record played. So it's kind of interesting when someone says this, I don't hear that in the recording. I guess you just don't hear it. I got a pretty good ear, you know, and I'm not bragging, but I got a very good ear. I've had people tell me, I think you got perfect pitch because you be nailing this stuff. And my keyboard player recently said this to me, you know, I was there in the studio and, you know, he had his piano and in the back, there was a TV or VCR or DVD player. And it was playing my favorite, all-time favorite crime show, which is Unsolved Mysteries with Robert Stack, later to precede him with Dennis Farina, who was a Chicago cop at one time. And unfortunately, both of them has passed on. And let me just say this right quickly. They rebooted Unsolved Mysteries, don't like it at all. They changed the format. The format was a narrator that would narrate 3 segments within one episode. Now there's no narration, and now there's not just only 3 segments. There's only one long, drawn-out segment, and it's just too long. It's like an hour of one story. So they totally revamped it into just a typical documentary. I mean, it's like, why do y'all think that show was so successful? 2 reasons: great narrators and great format. And you done took both of those away and left with just a plain old ass documentary, you know. But anyway, so the original episodes with Robert Stack had a different theme song than the Dennis Farina reboot. And on the original, there's this like line, it's like a piano line. There's a whole bunch of stuff going on. And I'm listening to it, and I'm playing on the piano, and my piano player said, man, I can't even do that. I can't pick out all of those notes singly and play them consistently and play them accurately. Every note is the note that's being played. I'm like, I just hear what I hear, you know. I just hear what I hear, and as you get older and more skilled, you get better, you know. Because I hear stuff now that I would have not heard 20 years ago on recording. But I just find that to be interesting because I'm like, I don't hear it in the recording. It's there, dude. It is not really buried. It's there. You just don't hear it. But I heard it, and I played it to the letter, like as I do with most of the stuff that I do. Because there are some covers that I do after I listen to them, I was like, nah. And some of them are like certain licks that I can't get right as far as the voicing. It's like he's not doing this. The note is right, but the position on the neck and the string is not right. And a lot of times they cheat. They do weird tuning, you know, alternate tuning. Because I just had one of my subscribers, shout out to you, Mr. McDaniel, and he wanted to learn the riff to Southern Girl. Now, what I did on that song, because I did do a cover of it, and I disabled it because I'm like, I'm giving you all I can give you. I'm coming close. It's not exactly, because I'm not feeling it locking hard, but it is acceptable. So therefore, I did it and posted it. When it's not acceptable, I don't post it at all. But there are just some songs you're not going to pick up because of things that you don't know about that song. Again, weird tuning, certain way that it was engineered or mixed You know, it's hard as hell to replicate the James Brown guitar parts in those songs in the 60s. It's like, I got the lick, but the tone is totally not there. And I don't know what they did in those recordings. A lot of times with the Maze stuff, same thing. You can't get the lick. Those are the two I can think about off the top of my head that you have a hard time getting their licks. The James Brown guitar player licks in the 60s. I think one of the guitar player name was Jimmy Nolan. And some of the Maze stuff. It's like you come close, but you're not going to sometimes totally nail it because, again, it's either weird tuning or they're using some very obscure guitar voicings. Another one, the guitar player for the Gap Band, Yearning for Your Love, it took me about 5 years to finally figure out what he was doing and do exactly what he was doing. But a lot of the other songs, Early in the Morning was hard to do, but I did do it. I was surprised I was able to get through it without making any mistakes because that's one of them songs it's not easy to do. You know, and there's no breaks in between the song where the guitar player stops for a moment, then he pick up. It's just 5 minutes of this particular real melody choral type of picking that he does. 5 straight minutes. You know, it's not like in today's music where they just take a snippet of that and loop and call it a day. You know, back then musicians played the entire piece. They didn't go back and cut in a piece, or they didn't go in and just put in a little piece here, put in a piece there, cut a piece out, move it here, paste it there. None of that bullshit. That does not make you a good musician when you go that route, but that's the musical, R&B musical world we live in nowadays. Like our rock counterparts, they're still playing guitar. They're still learning how to play solos. They play solos. They're not sampling the solo from another dude or, you know, cutting and pasting, which sometimes they might do just a little bit to tweak it. But it's just unfortunate that R&B music has went to hell. And I'll say that. You know, I'm not afraid to say that because it's the truth. You know, the difference between my music and my daddy's music was it was 2 different styles, but they both had this in common. Whether it was my father's style of music era or my style of musical era, both of those musicians were great musicians. They just played a different style of music. Nowadays, what happened to the musicianship in R&B music? You know, what happened to the bass players? What happened to the guitar solos? What happened to real drummers? What happened to crescendos in the middle of a song to indicate it's going from one thing to another, meaning a verse to a chorus or chorus to a verse? That's what the drummers did back in the day. They indicated these changes. Now you just hear a drum beat, 5 straight minutes and no crescendos, no loops, no valleys, no nothing. And it's like you expect that when time progresses, things get better. You know, the musicians get better, the production gets better, and still it's just the opposite. Shit getting weak now. You know, a 7-minute song with no bridge. You know, when the Beatles composed a 2-minute and 32-second song, it had an intro, it had a verse, it had the chorus, it had a bridge, it had modulation, stuck a solo in there, all that in 2 minutes and 33 seconds. Now you get 7 minutes to show your stuff, and you stagnated. The whole 7 minutes consists of just this one thing. What started in the intro of this song is right through the entire song until the end, you know? But it is what it is. And I'm glad that I grew up in the era that I did, as opposed to this era now where everybody playing with one finger, hitting samples, somebody else's stuff. You know, it's still I'm 16 years old, I'm taking lessons, I sit down, I can play, I can read. And at some point in time, I'm going to be writing, you know? It's sad to see something that you love as an art form slowly deteriorates and die instead of getting bigger and stronger. You know, it should be getting bigger and stronger. It's still weak and unskilled. And on that note, I'm going to sign off till next time. Take care and thanks for watching.